going to tell you a story that happened to me that I remember when I go through anything hard, difficult. This happened about 2002. I went traveling in Europe with my friend Nick, sax player. We busked around. I had my guitar and I had a little pig nose battery powered amp, and he had a saxophone, and we played and we made enough money to eat and pitched our tent at the side of roads and in everywhere. So we were hitchhiking from Germany. We were going to Hungary, so Germany, then Czech Republic. And we got in we'd hitchhiked from France, and in the west of Germany we got lifts like no problem. We've never waited more than 5 minutes, someone would pick us up. And then we got dropped off in a small town near the border, the east side of Germany, near the border of Czech Republic and Germany. And when we were at this town, no one would pick us up. And we were like, what's going on? No one's picking us up. And then we realized after a while that we're right beside the border. No one wants to pick up two musicians right beside a border. It's dodgy, you know. We could have drugs or something. We didn't have any drugs, but that's what they probably thought. So we were like, what are we going to do? So we started hitchhiking like closer to the Autobahn, and then right on the Autobahn, which you're not supposed to hitchhike on the Autobahn, and the cars are going really fast anyway, so they're not going to stop. So then we started walking along the Autobahn. We saw a sign. We thought it was for a town, but it was for the border crossing. We were right there. So we could see the border crossing, and we thought, oh no, you can't walk up to the border crossing. It's illegal because you're not allowed to walk on the Autobahn, so they might arrest us. So we're like, okay, what are we going to do? Well, our plan was pitch our tent in a forest beside the border crossing, and then get up early and like hike around cross country through the fields and get into the Czech Republic and start hitching again. That was our plan. So pitched the tent, went to sleep, had okay sleep, got up early, and the hike was intense. It was like through crazy fields. There was like a load of bees in one field, and then we had to cross a stream with all our gear and instruments, and it was like pretty hectic. And eventually, after 3 to 4 hours, we came right up to the border crossing itself. We hadn't skirted around it very far, and we were just like in this little clearing, right? And this is really the point of the story here. I was starting to freak out. I was like, we've used up all our water. We don't have any food. And Nick, my friend, he's so optimistic and positive. He's like, look, you see those trees over there across the field? We're gonna hike across the field, go into those trees, go through the forest, come out on, you know, another road, and keep walking till we get to a town. And I was like, that could be, we don't know, it could be 50 miles. It looks like countryside. There's nothing. We can't see anything. It could be woods for days. I was like, we have no food, we have no water. We could get arrested. I was like, if we try to do that, we might die. was in my mind, that we might die. Which is funny now, because like, definitely we wouldn't have died. But anyway, so at that low point of me freaking out, being like, we might die, we just like we finished the last drop of water, and Nick's like, come on, let's go. And I was like, fine. We headed out of that little clearing, and just as we were crossing a little road that looked a bit like this, actually, a little private road, we looked down the end of it, and we saw there was a road with cars going up and down, and we thought, that's a road in Czech Republic right there. We could just go there and start hitching. So we started walking along this private road, and next thing, a Jeep came up behind us, police Jeep. And we were just like, shit, they're gonna stop us for sure. And we were just strolling along this private road we weren't supposed to be on, and the Jeep just slowly pulled up, and it just went on, and it drove off, and it didn't stop us. We were just like, oh my God. We got to the end of the road, crossed that road, and there was a duty-free shop right there on the Czech Republic side of the border. And we were like, oh my God. We went in, we bought chocolate and 7-Up, and then sat in the sun on a table eating chocolate and 7-Up and being happy. And then in my mind, you know, the whole point of the story is that, like, it took about 5 minutes to go from we're gonna die, we've got no food or water, we're like totally screwed and there's nothing to help us anywhere near. 5 minutes later, we were like sitting in the sun with people and cars and buses around and eating chocolate and drinking 7-Up. So that story comes back to me when I, you know, you never know. You never know. You might be going through hardship. It might last years. You never know. But also, you never know. It might be 5 minutes. And then you'll be smiling again. So hopefully it doesn't take that long.